The lock snapped. A woman from the HOA stood proudly, bolt cutters in hand, yanking open the gate of a black man's property. Behind her, a shiny Jeep sat parked, its tires still dusted with mud from the night before. She thought it was a violation. She thought it was hers to take. She thought she was teaching him a lesson, but what she didn't know, what no one in the neighborhood knew, was that the Jeep wasn't just a vehicle, it was property of an elite police task force, entrusted to a man whose quiet life concealed a powerful role. What happens when arrogance collides with authority hidden in plain sight? Marcus Green had lived in his neighborhood for just over 2 years. Polite, private, hard-working. His property was modest. A small farmhouse, a secure gate, a gravel driveway. To anyone passing by, he looked like just another homeowner. But Marcus had another life. By day, he tended his farm. By night, he worked with a state police task force, an elite unit dedicated to taking down organized crime. The Jeep parked in his driveway wasn't a toy. It was government-issued, armored, equipped for operations, but the HOA didn't see a hero. They saw a problem. His grass sometimes grew too high. His gate looked too industrial. And that Jeep? They called it an eyesore. One woman in particular, known as the self-appointed rule enforcer, had made Marcus her target. She sent letters. She issued threats. And when he ignored her baseless demands, she decided to take matters into her own hands. One hot afternoon, she marched up to Marcus's gate with bolt cutters. She didn't knock. She didn't ask. She snapped the lock, rolled open the gate, and strode onto his property as if the law itself bowed to her. Behind her, neighbors peeked through curtains. "Phone's recording," she announced loudly. She was removing a violation. But she had no idea what kind of fire she had just walked into. Marcus stepped out of his farmhouse, calm, collected, but his eyes locked onto the broken gate. "What are you doing?" he asked. She waved him off. "This Jeep violates HOA rules. It's oversized, parked improperly. I'm having it removed." She dialed a tow truck, confident, smug, untouchable. But Marcus didn't argue. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet. Inside was his badge. The crowd gasped. The woman froze, and Marcus explained that the Jeep wasn't just his personal vehicle. It was state property, assigned to him for task force operations. That lock she cut? Tampering with secured property? Her attempt to tow the Jeep? Attempted theft of government equipment? Her face turned pale. She stammered excuses, but Marcus kept going, calmly, steadily, loud. Enough for the crowd to hear. Tampering with police. Task force property carried heavy consequences, fines, charges, even jail time. And then, 2 unmarked SUVs rolled into the driveway. Out. Stepped members of Marcus's unit, fully geared, calm, professional. They had arrived for a briefing. Unaware of the drama. The timing? Perfect. The tow truck was still on its way. But now the HOA enforcer was standing face to face. With a line of task force officers nodding respectfully to Marcus, the neighbors gasped. Phones shook in their hands, and in that moment she realized she had crossed a line she could never erase. The tow truck rumbled up the street. The driver stepped out, but instead of an easy job, he found armed officers standing behind Marcus. Watching silently, the driver froze. Is this the vehicle?" The woman panicked. "I didn't know it was police property. I thought Marcus cut her off." His tone steady, cold. "You didn't think. You assumed, and in your arrogance, you broke the law." The officers said nothing. They didn't need to. The tow driver shook his head, climbed back into his truck, and left immediately. The woman stood trembling, phone in hand. Her authority gone, she had trespassed, vandalized, nearly committed theft of state equipment. Marcus didn't arrest her. He didn't need to. Sometimes the loudest punishment is silence. Days later, the neighborhood buzzed with the story. Clips of the event spread across social media. The HOA Karen who thought she ruled the block was now a viral joke. Marcus went back to his life, farming by day, task force work by night. But the neighbors looked at him differently now. not with suspicion. Not with dismissal, with respect. The HOA fell silent. The woman withdrew, humiliated. Marcus didn't gloat. He didn't have to. His calm presence, his quiet authority, had spoken louder than her arrogance ever could, because this wasn't just about a Jeep. It was about perception, prejudice, and power. A man underestimated for his race and his quiet demeanor had reminded everyone of a truth they would never forget. Authority doesn't need to announce itself. It simply is. So ask yourself, how often do we judge others based on appearances, only to find out we were wrong? Because sometimes the person you think has no power is the one who holds all of it.